All right, YouTubers, law school students, prospectives, and curious people. Today's Saturday. This is my second video today. I am talking a little bit about prepping, and I don't mean prepping to go to law school. I mean while you're in law school, my second year of prepping. I'm going to talk a little bit about then versus now. So the supplies that I brought, my backpack has changed. The paper, the folders, how much reading I do, the homework, note taking, all of that has changed. So let's get started. So let's start with supplies. Renting versus buying books. I started my first year and I bought all my books. They are still sitting in my room now. The law has changed. The law is an ever-changing thing. So some of those books are worth nothing. Some of those other books are worth maybe $5 and I paid like $3 for them. Note to self. So I caught on to that maybe after my whole first year of buying books. I was able to sell some of them back, but not a lot of them. So that was a bummer. Anyway, pay attention to that. Your school may accept books at a certain time. You do not want to be the last person to go get your book bought back, because if they have so much, they won't buy them from you. So don't sit around on that. I now rent books. I am not going to be the student who I'm keeping my books so I can put them in my library or so I can put them on a shelf and look smart. Negative. There are some books called CLEs, and those books I think I will buy, and they will look great on my shelf. And I'm pretty sure I have leisure reading and other books that I will need later that I'll have. I don't, when I get into what I'm doing, I'll be buying books that are helpful. So I've decided not to do that because moving and holding those in my spare bedroom, that's just a mess. I'm not keeping all those books for no reason, just so I can look smart. I got JD. Enough said. That's how I'm going to go with that. So I started renting for 130 days because that's the semester. It gives you enough time to study and use them to study, and then you give them right back and ship them back. I rent from Chegg was one that I used to rent from. I rent from Amazon and Bookstore. I pretty much just do kind of a comparison of who's cheaper. They all have free, most of them have. Amazon definitely has free shipping, but most of them allow you to ship back for free. So they give you a return shipping label and everything like that, so it's no big deal. So I started renting my books because it was a whole heck of a lot cheaper, and I mean a lot, like hundreds of dollars. At the least, I'd save myself $300 in one semester renting books. So you don't need them afterwards. If you're like me, give them back. Okay, so I don't buy anymore. I used to have an entire 24-pack of markers that were different colors. Childish, I know. Because I would write in my books with the markers. I used to have highlighters because the highlighters matched the markers, and I would highlight. And different things would mean different things. So pink would be facts of the case. Yellow would be, opinions in the case. Different things like that. I don't do as much of that anymore. I kind of now read the case and I can remember most of what I need from it. But when a professor asks you a question, they don't always ask. I started to learn that sometimes you come in, and this has a little bit to do with my note taking. Sometimes you come in with this big paragraph of what you got from the case and all this information, and then to get into the classroom and learn that actually the professor is going to just fly by the case and tell you the substantive law that you need to know. So that used to cause me a lot of grief my first year, because I would have all these notes and important things and outlines pretty much done, and then when I get into class, we cover the case, but clearly it's not of importance. Make sure you pay attention to what your professor says. I don't care what you got, what you understood about the case. Your professor is the one writing the exam, so it stands to reason that you might want to listen to what they're saying, because it's going to help you with what they want you to focus on, the important information. The problem with that is I used to do my information and be like, why aren't we talking about this? When are we talking about this? And I would focus on it too much. I'm also one of those people who constantly tinker with my outline. It has to be perfect the whole time. And so that would get me off focus. And then I'd miss something the professor would say. So coming in there with too much would cloud my mind instead of just focusing what they were saying and type while they're talking. That kind of stuff is what I do now. Also with my backpack, I used to have a backpack. I had a cute Nike backpack. It rolled, but it was a cute little backpack. And I started to notice, I held my laptop and one book. But even for part-time students, I have 2 classes in one day, and I need to be able to put those books in 2 huge bags. Because I got my purse, which is also huge sometimes. And then I've got my lunch, which is also, my little lunch bag, which I have lunch for work. And then that bag comes with me because I also bring my dinner that I'm going to eat at school because, as you know, I'm part-time. So I have to eat dinner right before class and move on with my life. So I would have that, and then I would have this book in my hand, and then one book in my backpack and the laptop. That's too much. So I actually went to, I think, Macy's or something and got one of those big briefcase looking things that held 2. And I legitimately brought 2 of my books and made sure and put them in the bag while I was there to make sure they would hold what I needed them to hold and stuff like that. So you might want to think about the backpacks and the bags. Now, there are lockers at law school. If you're full-time, you might keep a locker. But I'm part-time. I'm at home. I don't need a dang locker because I got to take my books home and do my work on the weekends or when I have time. I need my books with me. I don't always have time to go to the law school for that. So it depends, your situation. I used to have folders, but now I don't really have folders because I don't need loose leaf paper. If I do, I have a little notes pad in my purse. I keep that. And that's really, if I have questions, I write them down because I have a horrible memory so that I can ask the professor at the end of the day or at the end of the class or during break. I don't actually keep loose leaf paper anymore. I also used to keep my syllabus in the little folders. Well, they give you the syllabus and then that's it. So I have one folder that I keep all 3 or 4, however many classes I'm taking, syllabi in my folder, and then that's it. I do the readings, but I skim. I do enough to be able to answer the question and know what we're talking about, but I don't read extensively like that because I used to, and what I would get out of it was not what the professor would say, and it would be confusing. Remember, in law school, you have to learn to study all over again. You have to learn to do what works for you. So that's what I had to do, and reading all that work and doing all that note-taking and jotting down, that clogged my mind, and I kept myself from opening up and paying attention to what the professor was saying. I was more focused on what I got. So you don't really get homework in law school. That's a gift and a curse because you can get behind if you don't pay attention because you're not required. But some professors do call on you during class, so you might want to know what they're talking about and be able to answer what happened in this case. And then, again, with my note-taking, I don't take as many. I take the heck out of notes in class. I have a friend who types everything that the professor says, and then she has to go through it all and see what was relevant, what was not. I cannot do that one. I basically get the substantive law, like what I need to know. I pay attention to, I can kind of decipher when I'm listening to the professors what's important. Or sometimes they're just talking about something and it's not actually meant for you to jot it down. That's not important. So if you're that type of person where you can decipher through the lecture and the importance, don't write everything down because it's a nightmare to have to go back and clean up. And that's another thing. I'm part-time. So on weekends, like today's Saturday after I do this video, I have to, number one, go clean up what I wrote during class. clean my outline up, and then I have to read and answer whatever questions I need to answer, or look over what I need to look over for the next class, for the whole week, Monday through Thursday when I'm going to class, because I don't have time during the week. I can't read today for Monday and then Monday night read for Tuesday. It won't get done, because Monday night I'm pooped and I'm not ready to read. Also, I read somewhere, if you read late, sometimes when you do that and you get sleepy, you're training your brain to get sleepy when you read. I don't know how true that is, but it was an article, and it registered to me, because you can train your brain to do different things. And reading at night while you know you're sleepy, I just go to sleep, man. Again, with me, you got to be careful what you listen to, because I personally live by life is too dang short for all of that. Nobody got time for that. So I do read and do, look at things, but I just don't go extensively into it, just because, I get way more when I'm a blank sheet of paper waiting to receive what the professor has for me to get. So that's what helps me. That's what I used to do, the extensive note taking before, and it didn't work for me. It was so much more work. And then between, A semester doing all that work and B semester figuring out I can just, kind of skim over this and then get what I'm supposed to get, I still got the same dang B's. So it was my conclusion that no matter how hard I work, this is the kind of work I put out, this is what I get. I might as well lighten it up on myself within the semester. And some of this might be trial and error for you, but that's what worked for me, and so hopefully some of my tips can help you lessen the trial and error. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have questions down in the comment box, and I will either just answer them or do a video on it if it's long enough. Okay, that's it. Bye.